Howdy everyone, welcome to another edition of Getting Outdoors here in our garden. Now that we have the extension done and all the soil put in and all the hay put up on top. So that was completed last night, and then got about 3/4 of the way of planting all the transplants in. Got them in, all except actually more than 3/4, because there was only about 5 of them left that we got in today. Last night had a good soaking rain, so you still have some puddles over here. So everything got really soaked in. So we finished up all, and I figure I'll give you a tour of the garden of exactly what we've got going. So as you remember, this here was the what we call the upper garden, and then had the split right through here of the old fence. Now the fence is back here, and so now we've extended it all the way back. I think it's going to do much better raised up. So because before, like here, we've got this dark clay, and that water would just stay right there, even though I may have 6 inches of dirt, maybe a little bit over it or tilled in. It was too much and would kill everything. So this year should be much more productive. So we've got over here, one thing I really like is that with this extension, it has been able to give me a little bit more room to spread out. So like here, I've got our yellow squash, and there's probably a good 3 feet in between that one and the next one here, and then about 5 feet to the next one, and so on. And so it's really going to be able to hopefully control some of the growth, and hopefully maybe some of the insects. I'll be able to see them a little bit better. And then also, so we have here, so like this tomato plant, you can see it here. Once I've put up the tomato cages, if you've seen that, how to build the tomato cage in our previous videos, probably a couple seasons ago, they're quite big, and so we want to make sure that I wanted to get enough room to be able to walk around and have enough space. So between that one and that one, probably again is another 5 feet in there. So we've got squash, we've got, so over there, let's see, that's the yellow squash. We have zucchini, some spaghetti squash right there. That's my old buddy there, old hunting dog. So we've got 5 different varieties of tomatoes. Then we've got our cucumbers, and I've put the trellis up, and this is just a 16-foot cattle panel. And then we used a little garden T-post to keep it in place. And I did this last year, and it really worked out well. And so we've got the cucumbers planted right up against it. These are going to be the pickling cucumbers. I've got 3 on each side. And I've got some seeds called Russian seeds that I have planted on the inside. We'll see how those take. Last year they didn't do so well, so we'll see if it does that this year. Now, these cucumbers are the burpless and straight 8 cucumbers. Again, doing the 16-foot panel. As you see, I can walk, I'm 6 foot. I can walk directly in and be able to harvest from the inside and the outside. I was supposed to have had 6 of these salad cucumbers because we love them, and we put a little vinegar, oil, and mix them in with tomatoes and cut up the cucumbers and just really enjoy that. And as you see, I'm missing one, right? This should be right here. I'm not sure how. I had 6 somewhere along the line and don't have it now. Another thing new this year that I got was asparagus. And so this is where, so to dig a trench, put the asparagus in, and put 3 inches of dirt over it. And as it starts coming up, then put 3 inches more of dirt, and then I'll layer the hay on top of that. And then not harvest it this year, mow it down over the following year, and then see what happens. But always kind of experimenting, putting something new in here. Up against the boards here, how I put the raised bed was essentially getting these 2 by 12 by 12 in here, and then putting it up against the T-posts here. And then also I have some of these rods in here that helps keep them all solid and together where they need to be. This was the last piece that I needed to cut, so I didn't have a bunch of dirt, so I'll bring some more dirt, put it up against that, and that'll keep it solid. Then as we had extended this fence out, I wanted to go ahead and put a gate so it's easy to come in and out, because where my hay pile is back in there. And that's where all my tomato cages and stuff, now I've brought it up and start to get them, I guess, in assembly line. But that is what's left over. I'd say that's probably maybe a quarter, if that much, of the hay that we had that got moved in. But I did make myself, the first, when I was moving some dirt and stuff in, I kept on going through the other fence over there and having to go over that 2 by 12. Well, I ended up cutting this 2 by 12 here, and then I can just easily move this out of the way or lay it flat and it can go up. So you know, sometimes a squirrel finds a nut and you get lucky on things. So that should help in that. Sorry, gotta fix that. One other thing is that last year I started planting all kind of perennials, not all kinds, I had 4 different kinds of perennials inside the garden, and I planted them all at one spot. This year I've got them scattered. So I've got one there, and you see over there that blue, purple there. And what I'm hoping is it starts attracting the bees ahead of time. And that way we can get some good pollination, because there is a lot of plants in here. I would probably say, I think there is a total of 45 altogether from what we bought from the nursery. So I've got okra. So let's just start from back here. I've got the perennial plants. There's a couple of okra mixed in here. Right here is my cantaloupe. Built up a little mound for them. I've got tomato, another tomato here. Back here, what? Yeah, you plant so much stuff, then you forget what you planted. No, that's another okra right there. We planted 3 different okras. So there's the cucumbers, and then we've got 2 varieties of bell peppers right here, and then the mini sweet peppers are right in here. And then over on this side, I've got 1, 2, and 3 different tomato plants in there. Again, just to give you a little close-up of that perennial that I put in. And that one is called a butterfly blue pincushion flower. Apparently that's supposed to be really good. The nursery really recommended that. So then we've got, again, the squash, zucchini, 2 other tomato plants in here, spaghetti squash. So really looking forward to how this turns out. We just, so from here on out, the reason I'm not putting the tomato cages on just yet is because it is March 28th. And hopefully Mother Nature blesses us with no freeze. And because if it does, I'm gonna have to get out here and cover all these up with buckets and blankets and whatever else. So the trellises I decided to go ahead and put up while I had one of my kids help me out there to put it up. Those we can easily cover up with blankets, but I didn't want to put up the big tomato stands, because those are 4 feet high and about 2.5 feet around, and I don't want to have to disassemble them and then reassemble them. So once I get some good growth and we get past Easter, then I'll go ahead and put those in there. Oh, I did forget, along the side here, seeing how I've got this, again, 16-foot cattle panels is what I used for the border fence here. And the reason I have that is just because the dogs. Rabbits and all that are kept out from the yard by the fence that's all the way around, but also our dogs, chase them off. So nothing that they can really get into, but I need to make sure that then the dogs don't get in here, because as you see, when I was rebuilding this stuff, one of the dogs got in here and decided to chew the head right off of that sprinkler. And so now I've got to fix that. Oh joy. So one thing, I was coming over here, we're talking about getting off track, is I planted some peas along here and green beans. So all the way along here is spread out about every 2 to 3 feet is I did some snap peas, did some blue Kentucky peas. So we'll see how that goes. Not really expecting much, but if they come out, that'd be great, and then they'll just go ahead and climb right up the trellises here. So anyways, hopefully you're having a great day. Y'all keep on getting outdoors, and don't forget to like and subscribe.